Hey, 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 it's Terry, Virginia's daughter, and I am back with my vintage suit from round 6 of my unfinished projects. Yes, that's my happy dance. This would be project number 38 and 39 for this round. So as you can see, I'm starting off with the skirt. It is made from a corduroy fabric that I got from Joann Fabrics some years ago. The skirt is supposed to be cut on the bias, but I didn't do that. And let's see, it has a front and a side front. So there's a seam that goes on either side here because there's a front, side front, and then there's the back. And I don't know. Yeah. So there is a seam right down the center of the back. And then there's 2 darts in the back, as well as, I think there's 2 darts in the front. So it has quite a bit of detail for it to be as simple of a skirt as it is. And then of course a waistband, and then just a simple hook and eye closure. One thing I did do with the skirt that I hadn't intended on doing, originally I was not going to line the skirt, but I decided, why not? I mean, the jacket is lined and the skirt is supposed to be lined. But when I pulled this project out of my unfinished projects, the skirt didn't have a lining in it, and it was almost done. It just needed to be hemmed, and it needed to have the hook and eye closure. And the jacket had a partial lining that was cut. Well, I got the jacket completely done before I finished the skirt. And of course the jacket is lined. And I was like, you know what? I gotta line this skirt. Like, this is really not cool. Well, you see me keep tugging because I can tell you a couple of things. When I put the lining in, it's smaller. Didn't fit like this. You know, I had a little more room in it before I put the lining in it. The second thing is the content of the lining. The lining is like a beautiful orange cotton, and I'll get to that in a second, because how I came up with this orange is because there's orange in the lining of the jacket. But while I think the lining is fine because it's like a stretchy cotton, I was going to make some bed sheets out of it and pillowcases. For Halloween, I don't know how I came up with orange. I kept thinking, why did I buy this? But I really like the way it feels. It's very soft and a little stretchy, which I think is fine. It gives the skirt a really nice drape and somewhat stiffness to it. Now again, it's not cut on the bias. It's supposed to be, but it's not. That might make a difference as well. You know, when a pattern is drafted a certain way and you do something different, might fit different. But the one thing that I noticed is, since I added the lining, this part around here, it's pretty snug. And I think in order for it to fit a little better, I need more room in this area. You know what I mean? In order for me to get the full benefit of this lining, I would need more room in this area. Now, I'm okay with it, but I just don't wear my stuff too tight. You know, those days are over for me. And the reason I selected this lining was because I ran out of lining that I used for the jacket. I like it. I like the length of it. I could have gone a little shorter, but it's okay. It's fine. It's just, you know, a thin waistband. And so very simple skirt. Very, very simple skirt. Speaking of the jacket, so here's the jacket. Isn't that lining slick? So let's try the jacket on. I'll tell you about this lining in a minute. Now, this is also corduroy. If you see any strings at all, I'm gonna bring the scissors out, okay? Because we're just gonna cut the strings as we go here. Because I was trying to cut, I had so many strings. So this is corduroy as well, but the sleeves, I did not have enough corduroy for the sleeves. So I used a denim instead. Nice denim that I got from Joann Fabrics years ago. I made a dress out of it. Pop that up so you can see it. And the buttons are covered. I could not find the type of buttons that I wanted in my stash. I could not find a single button. So I went ahead and covered them using a decorator fabric, and I love the way it turned out. These are bound buttonholes, and I decided to open them as I'm on this video. So yeah, let's cut those threads. I made them red so that they could stand out. And the inside of this, I'll show you the inside, the back of this. It's, you know, I didn't have the right kind of stabilizer that I wanted, so there are some things I'm gonna have to shop for in my supplies, in my stash. The whole idea of slip stitching this opening together is so that it won't stretch. Now, I did not cut these pieces on a bias either, so that would make it stretch even more, but I did not do that. Thought it would be cool to just do this while I'm chatting with you all. And there we have it. Now this jacket is a little snug too, but I like it. Snug, bug, smug. I like it. I like it.
I feel supported. I really do.
By you and the outfit. About this lining, isn't that beautiful? I had originally bought fabric just like this from Joann Fabrics to line a Tracy Reese pattern that is upcoming in a different round of unfinished projects. Actually, it's in a round that I haven't recorded yet. So there's a suit that I wanted to make, a Tracy Reese suit. Y'all remember Tracy Reese? Whatever happened to her? I'm like, now I feel like I should cherish her patterns, I haven't seen her around, but I had this suit, and so I used this as a lining. Well, some years later, I made a dress that I started and finished, and it was this chiffon print that I'd gotten from Joann Fabrics, and I wanted this to be the lining, but I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough left. And so I went on Etsy, and oh my goodness, lo and behold, I found the exact fabric. So I was able to make the slip, because the dress, it's a Vogue pattern, which I kind of wish I still had, by the way, because there was a nice sleeve detail that was very cute. When I went to make the lining for this jacket, it was cut out of a solid navy, really soft, kind of satiny, silky, almost like a silk almost, but I'm sure it wasn't silk, but that kind of feel, that lightweight kind of, with a little crinkle to it, and I didn't have enough. All I had was the back cut. And you know, I thought about it and I was like, oh, that would have been cute just to use the back for some, use the back, so the back would have been solid, and then just this front part would have been, a different color, but I didn't do that. I just decided I would cut all the lining from this. And so that's what I did. that is the story behind the lining. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So yeah, let's see what else about this jacket. I think that's it. Oh, I know. Hang on a second. Okay. As you know, I have taken on a project of purging my patterns. One of the categories for purging is to discard the pattern, trash it, just pitch it. This one is definitely a pitch. Look. I don't think this was all the way like this when I got it. I really don't. But I know I ain't do all this to this pattern. I know I didn't. Oh, and by the way, the blouse. Oh my goodness, the blouse is so cute. They call it an over blouse. And it only has 7 pieces. And 4 of them are facings. I could not find the back. So I had all pieces but the back. But what's interesting is I had like tissue paper that resembled the shape of the back. And I'm like, did I do that? I mean, it's green tissue paper. I just couldn't remember enough about it, so I didn't want to take a chance on cutting out fabric and nothing matched up and, none of that stuff. So I didn't do that, but I will definitely be throwing this away. Let me just share this with you. The jacket has a back, a side front, a front facing, a sleeve, and a back facing. And there is an unusual way that you construct it. I mean, I figured it out, but this was the very critical part of the jacket. So I am back on March 30th. Happy birthday, Tyler. It's our middle son's birthday today. I won't tell you how old he is, but Tyler weighed the most of everybody. Tyler was 9 pounds, 15 ounces. I remember nurses coming in saying, I want to see who had this baby. And there I was, praise God. So I have some of the jacket constructed, but it's these delicate, which delicate is not so bad, but missing on the other hand is bad. There's a piece that's missing. So this little, I'm gonna say 1/8 of this pattern piece, these pattern instructions are missing. On this side of the missing piece is just preliminary stuff like pattern, pieces, identifying the pieces, giving you some general instructions. On this side of the sewing instructions, the piece that's missing is part of step 6 and all of step 7 for the jacket. And the jacket has 7 steps to it. But I am bound and determined to finish this with or without the sewing instructions. The first time I did it, I missed the back facing completely. I had to take it apart and then put that back facing on there, which it didn't do anything, but made it so that when I flipped it over, I'd have something to stitch the lining, to cover the lining with. But yeah, that's it. I can say auf Wiedersehen, adios, arrivederci, au revoir to this pattern. And yeah, what do you think? McCall's 7989.